Hey, sixth grade, I hope all is well. Today for math, we're going to be talking about interest by months. We did the interest formula for if it's by years the other day, but today it's by months. So interest is usually expressed in years unless stated otherwise. If it is for less than a year, express it as a fraction of months over 12. So let's say if it's 1 month, it'd be 1 over 12. Your interest formula, as a reminder, is I equals PRT, where I is the interest you're trying to figure out. P is the principal, what the loan was for. Rate, R is rate of interest, so whatever that percentage of interest is. And then T is time, which, like if we said, is usually in years unless it's a partial year. So number one wants us to figure out how we would express these amounts of months as years. So we just make them as a fraction. We might have to simplify some of them though. 1 month would be 1 over 12. Can't simplify that. 2 months would be 2 over 12, which you can simplify into 1/6. 3 months would be 3 over 12, which 3 over 12 can be simplified into 1 over 4. 4 months would be 4 over 12, which can be simplified into 1 over 3. 5 months would be 5 over 12, which cannot be simplified. 6 months would be 6 over 12, which would be simplified to 1 over 2. 7 months would be 7 over 12, cannot be simplified. 8 months would be 8 over 12. 4 goes into both of those, so that would be 2 over 3. 9 months would be 9 over 12, which 3 goes into both of those. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3/4. 10 months would be 10 over 12. 2 goes into both of those. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 goes into 12 6 times, 5/6. 11 months would be 11 over 12. You can't simplify it. And if we don't have 12 months over here, because 12 months would just be 1 year, it'd just be a large 1. Okay, 2, we have a word problem. 2A, they bought a fridge for $1,250. They paid $450 down as a down payment and agreed to pay the rest in 6 months at 18% rate of interest, and it wants to know the total cost. So for that, we use our interest formula. But before we plug that in, we need to subtract this down payment. When you have a down payment, it's saying, well, I can't pay the whole amount right now, but I'm going to put some down so that my payments later are less. So I'm going to do $1,250 minus $450. 0, 0, 12 minus 4 is 8. So the loan itself was only for $800. So now we plug everything in. So I equals principal, which would be 800, times the rate of interest. So the rate of interest is 18%. We change that to a decimal. So times 0.18 times time. And it is 6 months, which we look up here is 1/2 of a year. So times 1/2. Okay? So how we're going to do this is we're going to do just left to right. We're going to work across. So 800 times 0.18. 0, 0. 8 times 8 is 64. 0, 0, 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 0, 0, 4. 6 plus 8 is 14. 1, 2. 1, 2. 144 would be these two. Now I times that by 1/2. Well, 1/2 as a fraction is 0.5. So 144 times 0.5. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7. 1 decimal, 1 decimal. The total cost isn't going to be this $72. We have to add that 72 back to the principal because 72 is the amount of interest. That's what we were figuring out, I interest. So the total cost is the interest plus the principal. So my interest, or my principal, is 800 plus my 72 of interest is 872. That would be my total cost. 872. Okay, on B, they borrowed $5,800 for 3 months at 15% rate of interest. And then they want to know how much did she repay. So, well, actually let's go back to A for a minute. The total cost would not be 872 because they already paid that $450 down. So that's not correct. We have to add that 872 plus the $450 they already paid down. Sorry about that, guys. 2, 7 plus 5 is 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, 13. So the total cost of the fridge that should have cost $1,250, actually, because they took out a loan, ended up costing them much more. That was $1,322. Okay. On B, they borrowed $5,800 for 3 months at 15% rate of interest. There's no down payment or anything on this, so we just plug it in the formula of I equals PRT. So, I equals PRT. My principal is $5,800, so 5,800 times my rate of interest, 15%, so times 0.15, and it is 3 months, which as a fraction will be 1/4. Okay, so go straight across, 5,800 times 0.15. So I'm just going to do it right here. I'm 0.15, 0, 0. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. 0, 0, 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 5 is 5. 0, 0, 0. 9 plus 8 is 17. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're at 870 right now. So 870 times 1/4. Well, 1/4 as a decimal is 0.25. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 0, 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 plus 7 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So my interest is $217.50. $217.50 was my interest. Now I add that to the principal. So plus 5,800, 00. So 0, 5, decimal, because we're adding. We don't have to worry about the decimal later. We worry about it now. 7, 1. 8 plus 2 is 10. 5 plus 1 is 6. So the total amount she had to repay when she was all done was $6,017.50. Okay. On 3, it doesn't give us word problems. It just gives us the principal, the rate, and the time, and wants us to solve accordingly. Excuse me. So for those, we are just going to take the formula, the I equals PRT. So we're just multiplying all of these. The only thing we really got to figure out is what fraction that T is going to be. So it'll be 200 times 5%, which is 0.05. 0, 0, 5 times 2 is 10. 1, 2, 1, 2. So then we have 10 times 6 months. 6 months would be 1/2 of a year. So 10 times 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 decimal, 1. So my interest is $5. It doesn't want us to figure out how much they paid total. It just wants to know what the interest is. So that is $5 interest. Okay. B, we have 700 times 12%, which is 0.12. 0, 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 0, 0, 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 0, 0, 4. 7 plus 1 is 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. The first part is 84. And that is times 2 months, which is a fraction, remember, is 1/6. I know that our 6s aren't ones that we typically have memorized. So I'm going to come over to the side here and figure out what 1/6 is as a decimal. So 6 into 1. 6 into 10, it goes once. 6, subtract 4, right under 0. 6 into 40 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract 4, another 0, bring it down. So it would just be 0.166 repeating. So I'm going to do, if I round that up, it is times 0.17. Okay, so 84 times 0.17. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 8 is 56, 57, 58. 0, 4, 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so the amount of interest that they paid would be $14.28. Okay, C, you have 5,000 times 10% for 3 years. So 10% is 0.1, so 5,000 times 0.1. 0, 0, 0, 5, 1 decimal, 1. So we're at 500. Now we times that by 3 because it is 3 years. It's not a part of a year. So 500 times 3, 0, 0, 3 times 5 is 15. There is no decimal at this point. So the amount of interest that they would have to pay would be 1,500. Okay? All right, so on the second part, we have some more of those. D is 2,500 for 8% for 3 months. So 2,500 times 0.08. 8 times 0 is 0, 0. 8 times, sorry, that's a bad 0. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. 1, 2, 1, 2, so we're at 200. If we go back, remember that we are looking for 3 months, so 3 months is 1/4 a year. So we're 200 times 1/4, which is 0.25. 0, 0, 5 times 2 is 10. 0, 0, 0, 2 times 2 is 4. 0, 0, 0, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the amount of interest they would have to pay would be $50. Okay, E, 930 times 6%, so times 0.06. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 9 is 54, 55. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're at $55.80. We keep that 0 because we're talking money. If it wasn't money, we get rid of it. Okay, and then 8 months, remember, is 2/3 of a year. 2/3, our decimal for that is 0.66. It's repeating, but we stop at that. It's 0.66. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus 4 is 34. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus 3 is 33. 0. And then since it's 6 again, it's the same number. So 0, 8, 4, 3, 3. 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 4 plus 3, 7 plus 1 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 3 plus nothing is 3. On this, we have a lot of decimals to work with. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the amount of interest they would pay would be $36. And we have 0.828. So that would make that become 0.83. So $36.83. Okay. On F, we have $2,000 for 14% for 11 months. We would set that up as 2,000 times 0.14 times 11/12. And I think you guys can take that from there. If you don't know your 12s, which most of us don't, you would do 12 into 11, add decimals, zeros, and divide. Okay, some of the review ones. We have a temperature one. Well, we have a couple temperature ones. I'm just going to solve the first one because, well, I have the formula there, so it shouldn't be too hard. 60 degrees Celsius to blank degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we first start out, we plug that 60 degrees in, so it'd be 9/5 times 60/1. I can simplify that. 5 goes into both of those. It goes into 5 once. It goes into 60 12 times. Okay? So then, come over here, I do 12 times 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I have 108 plus 32. 8 plus 2 is 10. 3 plus 1 is 4. 1 plus nothing is 1. So it would be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. For B, you do the same thing, except in reverse. So you do 68 minus 32, and then you times that by 5/9. Okay, for D, we have a few different, for 8, we have a few different kinds of problems. For 8D, we have another compound units one. We have 2 pounds, 3 ounces minus 7 ounces. So I'm going to have to borrow a pound from here to make that 1 pound. I'm adding a pound over here to these ounces. There are 16 ounces in a pound. So 16 plus 3 would be 19 ounces. 19 minus 7 would be, well, 9 minus 7 would be 2. And then 1. So it would be 12 ounces and 1 pound. If you want to make that as a fraction, because there's 12 ounces here and there's 16 ounces of a pound, you can do that. But this is the answer that I'm mostly looking for. E wants to know the area of a circle with a diameter of 20 meters. So that would mean my R would be 10 meters. So R squared, R times R would be 100. So it's just going to be 3.14 times 100, which means I can just move this decimal over to my area, It's going to be 314 meters squared. Okay. H, it wants us to figure out the prime factors and write them as exponents. So this has been a while since we've done this. 36, I think of what's the smallest number that can go in that? Well, 2. 2 times what? Well, I come over here, divide if I don't know. 2 into 3 is 1. 2, subtract 1, 6. 2 into 16 is 8. So it is 18. Because 2 is a prime number, I'm going to go ahead and circle it. 18, I can do 2 and 9. 9, I can do 3 and 3. So, to write that as an exponent would be 2, and I have 2 of them, so 2 squared, times 3, and I have 2 of those, so it would be 3 squared. Okay, and then J, 315 is discounted 20%. Well, if I'm discounting it 20%, I am paying 80% of that. So I'm just going to do 315 times 0.8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. 8 times 3 is 24, 25. 1 decimal, 1 decimal. So the amount that they are paying would be $252. I hope the interest is making sense. 6th grade, as long as you can do your fractions, you'll be fine. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Jupiter on Zoom. Stay safe. See you soon.